Well, teaching at Fairfield Prep, and in Prep, of course, being a Jesuit high school, it means an awful lot because it's a school that's based on values and doesn't have to hide it. It's a school that cares for, and we talk about this a lot, the entire person, the core personalis, this ability to reach the kids more than just the academic, to show them that you care about them. I've always had this, thing, and it's sort of stupid in a way, but I've always wanted to reach out to the kids that I thought were not doing as well or were not being reached out by other people. There's always someone here at Prep who will find that kid, who will find that student who doesn't quite feel comfortable or at home. And to me, working at a Jesuit school, it means that we care for the entire individual and we notice the individual. He's never lost. I mean, occasionally, obviously, things like that can happen, but we pride ourselves in reaching out. And if you see, just walk around the buildings here after school or even in the mornings and see all the stuff going on, all the meetings, all the clubs, all the guys working out in the weight room and so on, all the practices. It's not just, athletics, it's academics, and we have just been, very involved in the students in every way, and that continues when they graduate. Look at the alumni relationship that we have. I get emails from my guys going all the way back to the 70s. I still hear from them a lot, more than you would ever imagine. Regarding what's changed the most about Fairfield Prep since I started, now I started in 1971, one obvious thing is the changes in the physical plant. In those days, we had 3 buildings that we operated out of. Of course, McAuliffe Hall on the hill, the old mansion, was sort of a centerpiece, and it was either a freshman building or a senior building, depending upon which year. I taught out of there a lot in my early years. And Xavier Hall was mostly taken by the university, but we did have the 3rd and 4th floors. Of course, always thought about, wouldn't it be great to have a connector building between Berkman's and Xavier, and that was a big part of the dream for all of us. And that physical change, having that connector building, that beautiful Lupe Hall that we have now, has been a great addition. I think also, of course, the Preset Athletic Center has been great for the kids to practice, good place to go for the kids to have dances and whatnot. And I've been very impressed by the changes in the physical plant, and I think our plans down the road are going to be just as great to make the school, even more effective. The other thing I think that's very obviously a change since I've been here is the technology. When I came here, it was a blackboard and a piece of chalk, and the old Ditto machine that you got that ink all over your hands when you ran off a test. Now everything is high tech, and you have to adapt to that. For a lot of us, it was culture shock. And, for a while there, I didn't think I could handle it. And a lot of the older teachers were just sort of dismayed, but it was one of these things you adapt or die out. It's very Darwinian, education, believe it or not. And for a while there, I thought I was even going to get purged for not having the proper adaptation. But sure enough, you learn, and it gets easier each year, and we have a lot of support from the staff to help us to adapt. What's remained the same all these years, now 40 years for me and counting. I'm second in seniority, by the way, behind Bruce Jaffe. And of course, we just lost Uncle Lou Sirocco last year, who was the leader of our school, never mind our department. The kids are the same. They still have a lot of energy. They're very open to growth. They love to learn as long as you can reach them in the right way. And sometimes you have to adapt a little bit. They are, for example, today, a lot more, able to access information. The computer era, the technology that we have. So that much has changed in them. But by and large, as students, they are still the best. Another big thing I think that really stands out in my mind as a great memory, in 1987, the United States Department of Education awarded Fairfield Prep an Excellence in Education Award. And that's not easily gained, believe me, and there's a lot of competition for it. And that was sort of the stamp of approval that we were doing the right thing. Father Charlie Allen was our leader back then, and he just beamed. He was so excited that we won that recognition. One last thing I'd like to mention about my great memories here is, I was able to research and to write the history of Fairfield Prep. It was a great labor of love. And we published the first installment in relationship to our 50th anniversary, and then we did a follow-up, and we're hoping maybe one more. At least that'll be my last contribution. But I remember the great joy I had interviewing all these old faculty members, these old Jesuits and lay faculty, speaking with Father Duffy, Father Shaughnessy, Father Pelletier, Father Murphy, Father Tom Murphy, Bishop Jolson, and then of course people like Earl Lavery and Eddie Rowe and Tom McLaughlin, all those guys who were colleagues and friends of mine, sitting down and reminiscing, having them talk about prep, taking notes on prep, and all the great pride that they had in the school. I mean, if you sit down with Father Brissett for 5 minutes, you realize then how much pride he had for Fairfield Prep. And to me, it just drove home even more, I think, significantly, what a good choice I made in coming here. And I was so fortunate that they let me stay and be part of it. I felt very, very happy about that. Well, I think Fairfield Prep is set apart by obviously all those things I've been talking about, as a Jesuit school that's concerned with the entire individual, that prides itself in excellence. There's no, small coincidence that I called our history book, a tradition of excellence, and I think that's what it is. And a lot of times when people think of prep and excellence, they think of our athletic teams, they think of our hockey teams, our football teams, and so on. But the academic excellence, it's incredible. The amount of kids that we put into great schools and who carry our banner there and maintain their pride and still wear their Fairfield Prep t-shirts and so on their college campuses. It's really amazing, and I think that is something unique. Such a wonderful, 40 years and counting. But I think I would like to be remembered as a guy who had a love of his subject, had a passion for teaching, that I hopefully conveyed that passion. I think one of the great things you can do is to help create a spark in these kids, to make them realize that there's something out there that they can get excited about. And if they see me excited, and after all these years, I think I still am excited about my subject matter. If they see me excited, hopefully it wears, off on them a little bit. People will realize he's a guy who showed up, did his job, and loved his job. And of course, I certainly love Fairfield Prep. I wouldn't be doing this if I didn't love prep.